And on the topic of AI regulation, I want to keep drilling in here. George, you recently had a bylined article called AI Regulatory Framework, a Thought Experiment. And in this, you lay out 5 axioms for regulating AI, which are learning, steering, balance, oversight, and control axioms. I'd love for you to walk our audience through these axioms and how they can assist credit unions. And then also, George, from the stance of a cloud provider, what do you think is the most effective approach to regulating AI at scale?
Wow. So that article was written off of a piece that a professor from Washington University, Pedro Domingos, wrote, where he's like, there's only one good way of regulating AI. And based on some comments that he made, I was like, here's some axioms, some guiding points, as you noted. And the purpose of that is as follows, right? So let's start first with, most of us would agree that social media has turned out to be not as pleasant as we were told or sold or we believed and hoped, right? So, if you look back when social media started, the with wisdom of the crowds, right? That was what was driving everybody. This is going to be amazing. We connect with people that we haven't seen since second grade and what have you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Cut to today, there's so much division, right? And most of us, if we were given a chance to weigh in early on, we probably would have held more people accountable. We probably would have asked more questions. We probably would have dug in, especially when we see what it's done to a lot of our young people and what have you. I'm arguing that at this point in time, regulation should not be left to CEOs and government officials. We all have to weigh in as in citizens, business leaders. We have to weigh in, and that's the purpose of those axioms from Domingo's article. Is that on a high level, there are things that we need to look out for. What are the legislators putting out there? Who's having more weigh in on this control? I'll give you one: the balance axiom, right? Um, you Basically, there should be 3 things that AI should be keeping in mind: the company's goals, society's values, and the user's wishes. Right? How do they all align? It's very important that we as organizations, when I listen to Megan, I listen to Paul, and they're talking about the board and the importance of the board, right? Along with that is like, when you're developing that strategy, what are the things that you won't do? Right? What are the things that you categorically will just not do, right? And it may be something as simple as, what, we're going to automate a lot of things, but the reason we're going to do that is because we want to have more human to human contact. That is going to be a big priority for us. That's a big value proposition for us, right? And so, I am very hesitant to yield the regulatory conversations to the folks that are developing the systems and the government officials. I think we as a society have to weigh in, and we have to weigh in very heavily as business leaders. So, the point of the axioms, the point of that article is to challenge everybody. How will you use it? What will you not use or not, or do? What will you do? Where can you leverage that? Right? That value proposition that AI brings. And finally, I think the most important part of these is that this is going to be dynamic, right? What works for Europe won't work for the US. What works for the US won't work for Latin America. And that's okay, right? What we want to have is a dialogue and not just put it away and forget about it. And it's important for leaders, to really, how would I feel if, you know, when I put all my information in there, that information is being sold? Well, we already did that. We already know what happened with social media. Do we want to repeat and do part 2 with these AI systems? And so I think that the purpose of the axioms is to provide some guiding points, but to understand that they're going to be fluid and it's going to be different from society to society.